Hey everyone, welcome to Storyteller's Handbook, and today we're going to be talking about using electronic props in your show. Director, actress, author. I have a BFA in Theater and Drama Studies from a university conservatory program and over 10 years experience in theater. I am also the author of new adult fiction novel, The Refining. Using electronic props in a show is a question I get so often. The quick answer is no, never, do not do it. Do not use real working electronic props in your show. And if that's all you came to hear, thanks everyone, see you next time. But if you'd like to hear more, I have 3 reasons why this is a bad idea. So when I say electronic props, I mean working electronic props. I mean when you have a show and you need a cell phone and someone says, oh, I'll just use my cell phone. You need a laptop and someone says, oh, I'll just use my laptop. The answer is no, don't do it. You'll regret it. I promise you, and I have stories to prove it. Reason number 1 is working props have a pesky habit of going off during the performance. Everyone's going to say, I'm going to silence it. It's going to be on mute. And they're going to forget to turn off their alarm that wakes them up from their nap or their alarm to call their mother. It happened. This is reason number 1 why you shouldn't do it. Number 2, bad news. Bad news happens, and if somebody has their real working phone / laptop, tablet, whatever, on stage, they could get a text that your dog is sick in the hospital or their grandma's in the hospital or something. Now, these things happen, and as directors, we're not heartless. We know that this is something that you have to attend to, but the show must go on, and you hearing that your dog is sick in the hospital is only going to affect your performance, make you really unhappy during the rest of the show, and there's nothing you can do about it. I might sound like a jerk saying this, but you knowing this is not going to help the dog, and it's not going to help you. Performances and shows have been ruined because somebody checked their messages in between intermission or during a show, and they got bad news. And the thing with bad news is a lot of times there's nothing you can do. So it's best to leave the phone off in your dressing room, in your bag, and don't check your phone until after the show is done. And certainly, don't bring it on stage with you so that during the scene you can hear about Lassie falling down the well. It's not going to be helpful to anybody. And number 3, I feel like this should be obvious. It could break. Why you would use your real working cell phone in a scene when it could fall, it could break, someone could step on it, it could get lost, when you could just go to a electronic store, a thrift store, a dumpster, and find a broken phone and use that. Props are supposed to stay at the theater on the prop table anyway. And so you using your real phone, your real laptop, your real whatever means you're going to want to bring it home with you after every performance. And worst case scenario, you forget it. What do we do now with the big scene where the man gets the news that he's been living in the Matrix? How are you going to get the news when you don't have a cell phone? Now all of a sudden you have to borrow someone else's cell phone, and it's a whole thing. Get a broken or unworking phone, a non-working computer that can stay on the prop table, that if it breaks or it smashes, there won't be any tears. For example, I was in a show where I had to use a laptop, and I stupidly said, hi, I have a laptop. I'll just bring my MacBook. And I brought my MacBook, and I used it on stage. And when a stagehand cleared it and took it off stage, the lights went black, and I heard a crash and then a smash. And I immediately turned to the stagehand and I said, is that my MacBook? And she looked at me and said, no, absolutely not. And when I got home and I turned on my MacBook, the entire screen was spiderwebbed. And they had to take the entire proceeds and then some from the show to pay for me to get a new MacBook. But not before I sat and cried. So take it from me, it's not worth it. Find broken, unworking electronics. Ask the company, tell them we need 3 laptops, 2 cell phones, and a tablet. I'm sure somebody you know has some junk in their garage that they're not using that you can use for your show, and there will be no tears. There will be no check writing to replace these items. There will be no upset feelings when they're broken. Now, there are some exceptions to this rule. For the most part, in grassroots theater, you're probably not doing this huge multimedia $1 million set production that the audience needs to see something specific on a laptop screen, or you have this big multimedia presentation where all the tablets are posted on the wall and together when they're all lit up they make a face. That's probably not going to be what you're going for. If it is and you have the budget, then go to town. But most of the time, community theater, someone gets a call, someone gets a text. Doesn't matter that the phone's not not working. And so in those instances, go for the broken phone. Well, that's it for whether you should use real working electronics in your performance. I hope this has been helpful and answered that burning question. If you like this content, please consider subscribing and hit that notification bell so that you can get notified when I make new videos. And please comment below and let me know what content you'd like me to cover next. Thanks everyone, see you next time.